My name is Natalie, and I'm going to be critiquing PBSKids.org. PBS Kids is a website through PBS Public Broadcasting Services. PBS is a website that has very popular TV shows for children, as shown below here in the wheel. For example, it has TV shows such as Curious George, Clifford the Big Red Dog, Arthur, Sesame Street, Cat in the Hat, and Martha Speaks. According to the website, PBS Kids is committed to making a positive impact on the lives of children through curriculum based entertainment with positive role models and content that is designed to nurture a child's total well being. The goal of PBS Kids is to build knowledge, critical thinking, imagination, and curiosity within the children. It is also designed to help kids who are ages 2 through 8 in each of the four key areas of childhood development: cognitive, social, emotional, and physical. This site also has a huge focus on STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, because there are TV shows such as Did the Science Kid, Curious George, and Cyber Chase. This seems to be a credible resource since it is through PBS. Also, according to the website, series based research has proven that PBS's preschool and early childhood school content contributes to engaging and inspiring children in the core curriculum areas. For example, there are different TV shows such as Sesame Street, Cyber Chase, Barney and Friends that have a positive impact on children's social readiness and their social and emotional skills. I think that this website is fairly easy to navigate through, and I think it would also be very easy to navigate through if you are a child as well. So if you click here, there are two large pink boxes that you can click into. The first one here on the left says videos. So if you go here, you can click through different characters and you can watch different TV shows and click here through all of the episodes. One disadvantage to this part is that when you click through the different episodes, it doesn't have a title here of the episode. I also thought it was interesting that you could also watch live TV and what's actually broadcasting on PBS at that time. If you were to go back, you could click right here on PBS Kids in that little circle, and that'll take you back to the home screen rather than clicking the arrow at the top. So if you go back here, you can click on the games, and one of my favorite features of this website is that you can click here and you can go through games that are just popular at the top. You could scroll here and you can find games based on the different TV shows. Or you can click here and you can find games that have different topics. So, for example, you can do new games, popular games, teamwork games, feelings, and adventure games. There are also a variety of topics here, like spelling, shapes, dogs, problem solving games, and vocabulary. But if you click at the bottom, there are also 23 more topics. So lots of different opportunities and different games that children can play. So they could do rhyming games, story games, literacy games, healthy habit games, games about adventure, music, and Spanish. So if you go back to the home screen, another feature that I think is really interesting that I think kids will like is that you can click here on the wheel and you can look through and find the different characters from the TV shows that they might be interested in. And if you click on each of the characters, it takes you to a specific website. So here, if you click on Arthur, it'll take you to his website where there's games, different activities, videos, and printable activities. So here you can click on bookmarks, coloring pages, and trading cards. So if you go back to the home screen, I just wanted to show you that there are also lots of different benefits. So on top of there being a lot of educational resources and it being so child-centered, there's also a lot of different information activities for parents. So if you click here, you could go to visit PBS Parents. And here I like that there's a little barrier before you click into there for the kids who are on their tablet. It might be clicking quickly. But if you go to PBS Parents, there's information here that you could do with your children, and you could also get activities for particular age ranges or just one age, with different topics about character education, science, art, social skills, and emotional and social learning. There are also different activities here, so you can click through and watch videos of things that you could do with your children, and there are also step-by-step directions as well. If you go back to this screen for parents, another really neat feature that I liked on here was PBS Learning Media, and this is all for teachers. So you can click on different topics for subjects, and there's a variety of subjects. You can look for activities for grades pre-K all the way up to high school, and you can also click onto a specific standard for each grade in order to find some resources too. So overall, I thought there were a lot of different advantages to this website. And I didn't find too many disadvantages. I think some disadvantages are that the games do tend to freeze quickly. So that might be a little bit frustrating for a child. There are not a lot of ebooks. So I like that there are some ebooks that the kids could access, but I think there could be more. They're very easy to access, but when you access them and they read to you, there's only 7 of them, and I think that would be neat to have some more. You also have to sign in to do some of the different activities, and I think that might be a little bit of a negative as well. So I work at Norwood Elementary School, and that's a school in Dundalk, and that's a part of Baltimore County Public Schools. And I found that there were a lot of different curriculum resources. I teach second grade, so when I was looking at this project, I was thinking of a standpoint of a second grade teacher. For example, I thought there were a lot of health connections. Daniel's Tigers Guess the Feeling game could be used for students to discuss feelings, facial expressions, and body language. And the Ruffman Show has activities, videos, and games about cooking and baking. There is a game called Molly of Denali, and it's a good game to play because it teaches children about the culture and geography of Alaska. So there's different activities such as tapping a tree to collect sap, looking at the different wildlife in Alaska and learning about the characteristics of those wild animals and where they live, looking at different landforms and bodies of water such as lakes and mountains. There's a sled dog activity, and that one's really fun, and it takes you to different locations in Alaska. And then you can also learn about traditional songs and drums and beading art. Another social studies connection was from a TV show called Xavier Riddle and the Secret Museum. In this game, you learn about various historical figures and you play little mini games about each of those historical figures too. There are also plenty of literary connections. Like I said, there are ebooks, but then there's a lot of different games that children can play on this website for literary and reading connections. So, for example, there's one game here, and it's from Sesame Street, and it's a different activity for every single letter of the alphabet. And then this book here is from a series called Word Girl, and the series has different books, and each of the books has high vocabulary that the children can click on. There are also plenty of math connections. So, Pig's Pizza Place is a game all about counting the toppings that you would put on a pizza, and you have to have a specific number of each topping. Magical Shape Hunt focuses on 2D and 3D shapes. There's Pan Balance right here, and Pan Balance uses balances to measure the weights of objects. And Sorting Box is about how to sort objects by their characteristics. So it could be color or shape. Another really good connection is the science and technology. Like I said, PBS Kids definitely focuses a lot on STEM. So this is all about Girls, and Girls has a lot of different games and videos that they could access to learn about animals, coding, the ocean, nature, technology, outer space, and exercise. So when I was looking up how to make sure that a website would get into the county, it was a very huge process. So Baltimore County is very fortunate to have a lot of different databases, but it's not easy for the county to include these instructional materials. So first they have to be evaluated and selected. And the subject area selection committee kind of heads that, and the Division of Curriculum and Instruction also does too. And they need to make sure that the curriculum or that the website supports the curriculum and meets the need of the diverse students. The selection of instructional materials has to adhere to federal and state laws. The Board of Education of Baltimore County must also adopt the technology next. And then they start to go through a process where they can show the parents and get feedback, as well as showing the students. So the Board of Education in Baltimore County, the superintendent, the Division of Curriculum and Instruction, Subject Area Selection Committee, teachers, parents, and students are all involved in approving the websites that go into the databases. There are different types of professional development that I think would be useful. I really think that you could just have one faculty meeting to inform people and teachers about the types of games and resources on this website. You could discuss educational games and games that the kids could just use for pleasure and for fun. You could explain how to use the ebooks and the teacher resources, and you can explain to the staff a little bit about how to watch the videos. So when I was looking through this website, I think that the website really does a nice job of being easy enough for children that are 2 through 8 to access it. There are different apps, there's albums, episodes, games that I think are very easy for most children to access. Like I said earlier, they are games and activities that are based on helping children develop cognitively, socially, emotionally, and physically. And there are a couple of adaptations that you could use to make this easier for students with special needs. So, for example, you could use storybooks. You could have them use the read aloud features. Games have lots of visual clues and audio directions. There's also closed captioning options for each of the games as well. So you do not need to log in to PBS Kids in order to access the information. All students could have access to this website. You can use it without having a username and a password. However, children can create a username and a password in order to save their games and their progress on creations that they might make on the website. Parents can log into the resource for various things, and educators can also log into the resource in order to get free games, lesson plans, interactive materials, and standard aligned videos. From the technical perspective, there could be some bandwidth or connectivity issues surrounding the school-wide and or the district use of the resource. According to the fact page on PBS Kids, PBS Kids does build all that they do build all the activities on the website to download as quickly as possible so that patrons will not need to wait to use them. There could be connection difficulties during high traffic times, especially in the evening. And there could be connection difficulties when a lot of students are using devices and internet services within one school building. The website is best viewed on the latest version of Internet Explorer, Mozilla Firefox, and Apple Safari. I also found that it was pretty easy to use on Google Chrome. There were some games and storybooks that wouldn't open properly, so I think that would be a bit of an issue, as well as the fact that most of the games need various plugins such as Adobe Flash Player, Java, QuickTime, Adobe Reader, Real Player, and Shockwave. Most of the games need those plugins, which most of the computers do have. We currently have Chromebooks in Baltimore County Public Schools, and some of the games and activities might not be compatible with the Chromebooks. Some of the web browsers are not compatible with the games and the storybooks. I found that some of the games didn't load as quickly on Google Chrome as they might have on Internet Explorer. In order to share the website or the specific games with students, the teacher can upload the website onto BCPS1. So when they log into BCPS1, they just have to click the S, add the file, and then click in the link. So overall, I think that using this resource within a classroom would be fairly easy, and I would definitely recommend using it.